Welcome to the Academy of General Dentistry podcast series featuring Dr. George Schmidt. Each episode features experts in the field of dentistry who share insights and inspiration to help you succeed. Let's get started.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We've got another amazing show for you today as we welcome the AGD President, Dr. Marc Worob. Marc, how are you?
I'm great, George. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, but before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way you'll be among the first to know all things AGD. So, Marc, what's going on? How have you been?
Busy. There's it's an exciting time at AGD, and there's a lot going on. And
Absolutely.
It keeps me busy a lot.
Absolutely. So before we get started, let me just give the folks a little bit of background about you here. So Dr. Marc Worob is a prominent Austin, Texas-based general dentist and a longtime leader in the Academy of General Dentistry. Marc is the current AGD president, installed in November 2025, following roles as president-elect and vice president, as well as many other leadership roles in the organization. A Baylor College of Dentistry alumnus, Dr. Worob is dedicated to advancing continuing education, growing AGD membership, and strengthening general dentist success, focusing on member empowerment and providing a trusted professional home for his colleagues. So, Marc, again, you've had a very distinguished career, and I want to be, I know it's been a few months here, but I absolutely want to congratulate you on becoming the Academy of General Dentistry president there. And as we just mentioned, there's so many things going on, and you've got so many irons in the fire and so many things on the burner there. Why don't you share a few of the things that we're doing here at the AGD for the members and what they can expect in the coming year?
Thanks, George. And again, thank you again for having me. It's hard to know where to start. There's so many things going on at AGD, but I think what we're trying to do, one of the key things that I think AGD is trying to do is try to get involvement from general dentists across the country. We're really focusing a lot more on grassroots and what we can do to build our constituents. We've got several programs we're looking at instituting in the coming year to help the constituents across our country. Some of them have more membership and more programming and stuff than others, and we want to bring everybody up to that same level. So I'm looking forward to working with the constituents to help bring about more success locally. On a national level, the big key thing right now is our new strategic plan that we just approved at our House of Delegates in November. It has 5 main areas. Including things like improving our advocacy, working on continuing our great continuing education that we do, improving our organization so our organization becomes more nimble and effective. It's also then a key thing that we were talking about just a minute ago was strengthening our constituents and what we can do to help everybody else, because I think a strong group at the grassroots level will help us have more people involved, have more people at our CE courses, create more leaders in our organization, and help the organization become a really a premier dental organization in this country. And then the other item is leadership development. Again, focusing on leadership development at the grassroots and bringing that forward. Coming in April this year, and I'll put a plug in for it now, because it's a great time to sign up for it, is our Leadership Development Symposium in April. It is an opportunity for all the constituents to have somebody come to experience some training, some education, how they can become better leaders, and then take that back to their grassroots. And it's going to be in Chicago. I believe the dates, April 17th and 18th, I believe is the dates for that. So go online at agd.org and put in Leadership Development Symposium, and it'll take you to the application and sign up for it. And there's some scholarships available, and also some of the constituents will help you out. So we want those new and emerging leaders and people who want to become not only leaders nationally, but starting off leaders in their local areas and helping to propel and strengthen those.
No.
The other thing I want to mention, AGD 2026 this summer, June 24th through 27th in Las Vegas. You never know what's going to happen in Las Vegas, and it hopefully will stay there. But I hope everybody's going to look to join us there. Registration opens this week. And again, go to agd.org and find the sign-up sheet. There's going to be some great programming there. We're really excited. David Hornbrook's going to be there this year. He's a very outstanding aesthetic and restorative dentist. And if you register before April 30th, you get his course and those 7 CE hours at no charge. So a really great thing to get you, encourage you to sign up.
Yeah, Mark, so many great things. I mean, any one of the things you just mentioned, we could probably spend the rest of the time talking about. So let's back up a little bit and kind of hit some of the highlights there. So you mentioned strategic plan, and I know that's been a really big focus of the AGD over the past, let's say, even year. But tell the folks exactly, this wasn't something, for instance, that the executive committee or the president sort of mandated. This was something that was an all hands on deck effort, right? So walk us through how this strategic plan was developed so folks can get an understanding of that.
Sure, sure. When there's lots of different ways to do strategic planning, and some of you may have been exposed to them, locally or, in your state groups or something like that. But, what we wanted to do was to first was to find somebody to help facilitate this. And we found an incredible company in Vista Cova. Lowell Applebaum was the facilitator. He's the head of that organization. We interviewed a number of organizations, and he really rose to the top of the group that we picked from. From that, we put together a strategic work group. One of the hard things about doing when you have 35,000 members is who do you pick to represent you? And so we worked, special thanks to Dr. Kim Wright, Dr. Bill Kushner, who were big hands-on in helping put this together, was to create a work group of 28 members. These people we got nominations from the executive committee, from the board, from council chairs, from regional directors, from a great deal of different people. And we went through that list and we ended up with a group that represented 14 of our 20 regions, because that was really important to have cross representation. We have representations of all different types of dental practices. We have people in rural dentistry. We had people who are employee dentists. We have people that work in big cities, and everything in between. We also had, worked real hard on having a balance between genders, between male and female. And then the other thing that I think was very key for us was not just focusing on the people that have been there currently, but getting a lot of young folks involved. And so we had across the board age group from, a couple of years out of dental school on up to, some of us who've been practicing 35, 40 years. So, it was about 50-50 under 50 years old and over 50 years old, over 15 years in practice, above 15 years in practice. Again, it was a pretty equal balance. We worked really hard on getting that group together. That group met right at the end of May, 1st of June, and for 2 days with Mr. Applebaum, and came out of that with a document with these 5 pillars that I mentioned before, and then also some ideas about creating a new vision and mission for AGD. And basically, we didn't get quite finished with the vision and mission part. So once that meeting was over, the executive committee went through everything, and they came up with some suggestions about the vision and mission. And then that went back to the strategic planning work group for them to buy in. And after their approval, it then went to the board for their approval, and then ended up at the House of Delegates for, 200 members of the AGD. And I think it was really a unanimous approval of, what we have going forward. So, we have our main pillars. Under those, we have goals. We have tactics, which are things we want to try to achieve over the 3 years of this plan. And now we're working on really keying in on the strategic priorities. And we're working with our councils and committees at our joint council meeting next week. And then right after that, the executive committee will meet and the board to approve our priorities. And then once we get those narrowed down, then we're going to look at how do we fund those and how do we go going forward. We already have some requests for proposals out for doing things to help some of our constituents We know most of our constituents that are really on the cutting edge doing well have an executive director already. And those that don't, have a hard time. As dentists, we're all busy with our practices, with our families, with things at home, and it's hard for us to have time to do everything. And so what we want to do is set up a group that all the constituents across the country that need help can go to and have somebody help them, empower them and strengthen them and do some of the administrative work to help them grow and be able to provide better CE and better leadership within their communities.
Yeah, so I think it's important to realize for the folks out there that, a lot of people hear strategic plan. It's not just a word, it's not a concept. This is sort of a living, I don't want to say document, it's a living entity, right? That's going to carry us forward. And everything that we do has got to point back to the strategic plan, right?
Right. Yeah. And we've got, next week at our joint council meeting, we have all the council's committees working on all the things and making sure that the things that they're working on fit in with that plan. The plan, in the past, I think AGD, with all due respect to those who came before me or before us, didn't spend as much time on implementation as they needed to. And so that is a big focus of ours. After this year, hopefully next year in 27, the board and the leadership at that time will revisit the plan and make sure we're on target where we want to be, make any adjustments to it. And then every year thereafter, continue to work on it. I mean, we set this up as a 3-year goal, but to me, it's the beginning of an opportunity to create something that will hopefully carry our organization forward, and help increase our membership and help increase leadership and help our grassroots members. There's so many things a good strategic plan that continues to guide us can do. And I've seen that in many organizations that I've been involved in. And I think we can do the same thing with AGD.
Yeah, no question about it. I want to talk about advocacy in a minute, but you mentioned councils and committees a few times, and you also mentioned younger members. And, to your credit, Mark, you appointed this year into your term a lot of folks that sort of check those boxes, and I think that's fantastic. But for those that are out there that want to be a member, they want to be a counselor, they want to be involved, they want to be on a council or committee, how does that process work? What do they need to do to get involved and sort of help us out?
Okay. Well, if you are interested in serving nationally, what you need to do is go to our website, agd.org, and there's a section under leadership and governance. Underneath that, there's an application to apply for council and committees. It'll ask you to rank your top 3 choices, and it'll also ask you for a CV, a resume, if you will. And then next, usually the deadline for that is around May 1st. And the next summer, our esteemed podcaster and Dr. Wright, who's the current vice president, will go through that list along with our executive director and a member of his team and begin to fill the spots that are available. Every year there's various number of spots. Sometimes it's only a few, sometimes it's a lot. But there's a lot of different places where you can fit in, and you need to explore those. There's a little information about each of we have 28 councils and committees, from everything from the local arrangements committee that helps with putting on our scientific session in the summer, to people that help with our fellowship exam, to people who do stuff with dental education or the dental practice or advocacy, as you were mentioning before. So there's lots of different places you can fit in, and you just got to find out what works for you. Maybe it's communications, and you'll help work on podcasts in the future. But go to that website, put your application in. You can do it now, because sometimes during the year I just filled 3 places in the past couple of weeks of people who, for something that came up in their lives, and they had to resign. And we're always looking for new blood. It's really important for us not to just recycle those that have done such an amazing job for AGD in the past. We need new blood. We need new people who are going to lead this organization in the future.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, a lot of folks don't know, but so many different decisions, so many white papers and policies and different things are created and advocated for dentistry and the members. And these are not, again, just Mark and myself and others making these decisions, but these folks on the councils really work hard in developing the future of dentistry and the future of the organization. It is so important, and I would also encourage, as Mark said, for folks to throw your hat in the ring, because we really do need you. I mean, it's
Yeah, and
it's
and
important.
you mentioned, too, we don't, we do have a national lobbyist for advocacy. There are a few constituents that have their own lobbyist, but there are parts of the country where there is nobody. And I think it's important for those out there listening, the grassroots members, that if something comes up in your constituent that, is a threat to your practice as a general dentist, especially, don't hesitate to, bring it up. You send a email to our advocacy leadership. Jay Fisher is in charge of our government relations department right now, or to Dan, our executive director, and say, hey, we need help with this, and we will get people to help you with that. I mean, we've got a couple issues right now going on in Nevada and Minnesota that we're dealing with, and meeting with people and talking to people on how we can help, keep general dentistry practice the way we want it to be, and not have people trying to tell us what we need to do.
Yeah, it's so important. And again, advocacy, as you mentioned, was one of the pillars of the strategic plan. I know that you were very much sort of advocating for advocacy, if you would. And a lot of the things that you mentioned are really serious issues. Like you said, there's issues in Nevada and other places that are really serious, and a lot of folks don't know about that. But AGD is on top of that, and that hooks back into the the grassroots level experience that we want to try to create. But also nationally, right? Every year we're at Hill Day, which is going to be in May this year, I believe, Mark. I'm not sure.
April 27th and 28th.
April 27th, 28th,
27th and 28th, yep, in
where
DC. We come together, a group, we focus on getting constituent members there that are in districts of the people who served on the committees in the House of Representatives and the Senate that deal with our issues. Last year we were dealing with student loan issue, we were dealing with oral health literacy, and a whole host of other issues that were important. Workforce, that are a whole other set of issues that are important to us, and those are going to continue. There's a lot of threats to the way we practice. Everybody's struggling with getting a hygienist or a dental assistant, and there's a lot of things that we nationally can do to help you with that. And the one other thing I wanted to mention too, George, we have within the advocacy, we have what's called an advocacy fund, which people can certainly contribute to. You go to agd.org, and there's a link under advocacy fund, and you can contribute to that. But also too, those monies, we're really trying to put forth using those monies to help states with grants and things like that, to help them deal with some of their issues. So please keep that in mind too if you have an advocacy issue come up in your locale.
Absolutely. Mark, we have to take a quick break. We'll be right back. This AGD podcast series is sponsored by DHP, one of the largest family-owned full-service dental dealers in the United States. DHP provides dental and medical supplies, equipment repair and maintenance, technology, and equipment sales. AGD members receive exclusive discounts and promotional offers when you buy from DHP. We are especially grateful for DHP's continued support of AGD. Their partnership helps make this podcast and these vital conversations possible. Discover why like-minded general dentists work with DHP by visiting their website at dhpsupply.com. Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Dr. Marc Worob, president of the AGD, and we're having a really great conversation about all things AGD, I would say. And we were talking before the break about advocacy and Hill Day and some of the pillars of the new strategic plan that we have out there. I think one of the things that we are trying to do as well that connects into the strategic plan is we've been meeting with a lot of different allied organizations, right? We're not trying to go this alone. So we are really trying to foster as many relationships as we can. Maybe you could share a little bit about that with us, Mark.
Yeah. In the past, we've always met, our leadership always meets with leadership of the other main organizations, whether it's the ADA, the periodontists, the endodontists, the oral surgeons, the pediatric dentists. A lot of the issues that we all have are the same. We're all looking to try to make, create a better doctor-patient relationship. We're all trying to do more to provide care and access to care for patients across the country and in Canada also. But, I think right now, because of what's going on in this world, it's even more important for us to build strong relationships among the other organizations. And what we're seeing that currently is that there's a lot of other organizations that are looking to partner with us or collaborate with us. We're going to be attending meetings of the Academy of Osteopathy Integration this year, of the DSO group, because DSO groups employ general dentists, employee dentists or general dentists. They're part of us. We want them to be part of us. We want them to feel that we can, we're here for them also. We're talking to go to, we're doing stuff to create a better relationship with the American Dental Hygiene Association and work with them. And they have a summit coming up in May that we're hoping to attend and participate in. We're looking for ways that we can both help together, the workforce situation and find common ground on doing that. There's a lot of, unfortunately, there's been a lot of bad press for the American Dental Association recently, but as AGD members, we still need to believe that a strong ADA is good for dentistry. And I think it's important that we all continue to support them, work with them. I've had a number of conversations with their leadership, and hopefully we can continue to be transparent with each other and help build the kind of relationship that's going to help all of our organizations. And we're hoping at the Chicago Midwinter this year, we're going to be meeting with a lot of the organizations and continuing the growth and how we can help each other. And also too, I'd be remiss if I wouldn't mention some of the honorary organizations out there: American College of Dentists, Pierre Fauchard Academy, the International College of Dentists. We're all looking to see how we can all collaborate and work together to help our profession be, and help everybody out there be more successful, because they all provide great benefits to our members.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize, after you mentioned all those groups and, from every different segment of dentistry, if you would, it's important to keep in mind that the AGD is the advocate for the general dentist and all general dentists and every general dentist, regardless of where they work or how they work, right? Or whatever they might do. So I think that's really important to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think I think a key thing, is, talking about pillars and that sort of stuff, obviously, and doing what we can for our members. We've added, Matt Kemke, who's our deputy executive director, has added an incredible amount of benefits for our members in the past year. And he's continuing to expand that, and he and his team. And so there's a lot more benefits there for them. We're working really hard because we want, we only have a small segment of general dentists, and we want all general dentists to come together. This is a central place for all general dentists to find what they need. And we really hope that in the future, all general dentists will see that this is the organization they need to belong to. Some of the other specialty groups have a huge percentage of their specialists as part of their members. We don't have that in general dentists because there's so many, there's 120, 160,000. I've heard lots of different numbers for how many general dentists out there. And, I encourage all of you out there who are listening to this to look at AGD and look and see what you can, participate in, what you can be part of, how we can work with you for the betterment of dentistry, because nobody else is going to speak for general dentists only except us. And I've learned over the many years I've been involved in advocacy that, other organizations worry about what's important for them. And we're always going to have your best interests at heart.
No doubt about it. And I'm glad you brought Matt up. Matt and his team are working so hard, as you said, to sort of increase as many possible benefits for our members as possible. And I would encourage our listeners to go to the AGD website and look and see what benefits are available and utilize them. I mean, it's constantly changing. There's things that are updated all the time, new benefits and things like that. So make sure you visit the site and see, because there's something for everyone there.
Right. And I was going to say, another thing he's done is made some improvements to our website, so you can find things like that a little easier and stuff too. So that's a ongoing process to improve that, because it needed some update, and the his team and Kristen Gover, our communication lead, they're really doing a great job of improving the website and working to do things to make it easier to put more stuff on there so everybody can find what they need. And I encourage everybody to go look at it and see. It's really it's a work in progress, but it's really coming along nicely.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of meetings and various things, and I know you're doing a lot of traveling across the country here to a lot of different venues and dental schools and things like that, and you probably have a little bit more time available in your schedule. So if someone wanted to have you maybe come out to their dental school or come to their region, how do they go about doing something like that?
If you want a visit from myself or one of the other officers, I will throw in too. You just go to, let's see, probably the key person to probably go to would be to Joel Reimer. It's Rimer at agd.org. Is it Joel Dot? I can't remember how they do their thing, but Joel is head of constituent services, and he's the guy who coordinates all that stuff. I am already headed to about 10 states and 11 or 12 dental schools at my last count. So, there's still some time available, not over the next couple of months, but down the road. So I would love to come visit with your constituency, your community, your dental schools. And I know it's really important for students to understand, especially those that are going to continue in general dentistry, to understand what we can do for them and how we can help them be successful. I know in my 40 plus years of being a dentist, the AGD has been a very important piece of my growth, my learning, my great friends, and everything that have helped, and my mentors, that have helped my career and helped me be more successful. And I encourage all the student dentists, new people out there to come experience that, at AGD Scientific Session in Vegas, or, find something through your local constituent, contact them. A lot of them have membership ambassadors, and try to get in touch. And touch somebody, and I know you'll be really happy you did.
Yeah, so you mentioned it a couple of times before, and you just mentioned it again briefly, but one of the stops on your tour this year is going to be Las Vegas, Nevada, and that's going to be for AGD 2026. So you've got to talk a little bit more about that, because that's going to be an amazing meeting.
Yeah, it is going to be. For those of you that were in Montreal last year, I think it was really the start of a great momentum shift in that meeting. We've always had incredible CE, incredible hands-on CE, but what we're now doing is making the whole experience better. You have more speakers, more hands-on. There's going to be some amazing events. The president's reception and stuff is going to be like something like you have never seen in an AGD event. And plus, you do have Vegas, where you can experience lots of different things. Might even be an Elvis sighting or two. Who knows? But Viva Las Vegas, come see it. I know you won't be disappointed. Please come join us. And as I mentioned before, there is if you're a Premium Plus member, you don't have to pay to register. And then if you register by April 30th, you get to see Dr. Hornbrook, who's an amazing speaker, for free. I mean, who can get a day of CE like that for free? I mean, the man charges, it's $1,000 probably to see him normally. And so it's a great opportunity. So please sign up. Please ask questions. I think on Tuesday, I believe, is when the site goes live for registration. So please join us and come see us, and we can get to talk, and you can ask us questions in person and things like that. We'd love to see you there.
And we've got a lot of great things there. New Dentist Lounge. There's a lot of things for our newer, younger members. We put a lot of things on like that. Like you said, a lot of hands-on CE. Mm-hmm. And you don't even need an excuse to go to Las Vegas, right? I mean, great restaurants, entertainment, all kinds of good stuff out there.
There's some great food, great entertainment. Like I said, I know the new dentist, I was on a meeting with them the other night. They've got a lot of special things going on in their learning lab right on the exhibit floor. They'll have some special things and that sort of stuff too. So I encourage everybody to come and join, and come to see. The other great thing about that meeting is to see the people who've achieved their fellowship, mastership and LLSR. Those are one of the key things, that awards that no other organization has. And you only get that at AGD, to recognize you for what you do. And we all know that fellows, masters, LSRs are more successful in their practices, personally, professionally, financially. It all goes with the incredible amount of knowledge that you can get from doing that. So if you haven't signed up and you're not doing that, another little plug for AGD would be, see about taking the fellowship exam early on, sooner when you get out of school. You don't need the 500 hours to get your fellowship to take the exam. It's a great opportunity to, really give your patients better care. I know I've really appreciated that, and many other people have.
No doubt about it. And of course, we're at Caesar's Palace this year, end of June. If you want more information about AGD 2026, you just have to go to agd2026.org. And you can find a lot of great things there about the meeting, about AGD. And as you said, great CE. I mean, like you said, Hornbrook. I mean, come on.
We've got the full gamut of stuff. People speaking about clear aligners, the latest stuff on implants, endodontics, some great speakers on endo. Just the full range of stuff. There's not anything, I don't think, that's not covered. And the Scientific Meeting Council has done an amazing job putting together an incredible program that you don't want to miss.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say about, because as you know, Mark, and maybe some others don't, but I've been involved with that meeting for a number of years, and you want to sign up early and you want to register for those courses early, because they do sell out.
Yeah.
They're very popular, great CE, and you could get locked out. So
yeah, especially hands-on. There's limits to how many people you can have on hands-on and get credit for that. And so if you particularly certain something you're looking for, signing up early is a great way to take care of that.
absolutely. So, Mark, our time goes quick here on the program, and we're out of time. But I just want to thank you so much for coming on. And if folks wanted to reach out to you, if they have a question, a concern, if they want you to speak, if they want you to come out and visit, how can we get a hold of you?
Easiest way to get a hold of me is at mworob, AGD. That's MWOROB, AGD at Gmail. That's my email for all things AGD. So that's a great way to contact me if you have questions, concerns. The one thing we didn't mention, George, is if you do have questions, concerns, there's quarterly constituent town halls where you can come on and ask George and I both questions. Everybody's invited to attend. So please, find out about those. Again, they're on the AGD website. I'd love to talk to y'all more, and look forward to a great year. It's truly an honor for me to represent you, and I hope all of you will get more involved and join our organization. If you haven't joined, if you have joined, please participate locally, statewide, nationally. Find a place that fits in your lifestyle to be part of this, because I think we've got something really exciting going. I'm really, really excited about the future. Thank you, George, for having me.
Yes, thanks for coming on, and we'll have you back on, in the coming months to give us some updates in terms of what's going on, because I think you've got a lot to share. And I want to thank you, Mark, for just an amazing job that you've been doing. And
thanks. I appreciate it, George. Thank you for being our head podcaster.
Yes,
appreciate you.
Thank you. And I'd also like to thank our producer, Kristen Gover. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe to our channel. You can always find us on Spotify, the AGD app, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube under @General Dentistry. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, or suggestions, you can contact us at news@agd.org. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.